Good evening. It is Monday, July 22nd. You are watching the Convergence Report. I'm Mike Thomas. Mike Thomas on XE's TV, live stream by Knockstrom Digital Media. We are at the Downtown Windsor Business Accelerator at 720 Olette. That's where we're streaming live from. Tonight on the Convergence Report, I bring back the Harper Duffy Report. Mike kind of disappeared for a couple weeks, but Steve was very busy, so we'll kind of find out what's going on with the both of them. And I just want to give people the information they need for the upcoming by-election. It's coming fast, August 1st, and to be aware, they know the advance polls are open. Make sure everybody gets out and vote. Very important to vote in an election. Trying to drum up the support. And of course, I saw that, my little Facebook internet kind of update news of the day. So we'll kind of bring you up to date across the board, and of course, across Canada for ALS at the end of the show. You are watching the Convergence Report. I'm Mike Thomas, XE's TV live stream. We'll be back right after this.
You're watching the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas. It's XE's TV broadcasting from downtown Windsor. We'll be right back.
Back. Okay, and we're back, and we are watching the Convergence Report. I'm Mike Thomas. Breaking news, it's been out for about an hour or so, is that Prince William and Kate have welcomed their royal baby. It is a baby boy. His Royal Highness, the Prince of Cambridge, born at St. Mary's Hospital at 4:24 p.m. BST, I'm assuming that's British or British Standard Time, weighing in 8 pounds and 6 ounces. So that is the breaking news. A lot of people were waiting ever since the news broke that she went into labor earlier this morning. There's no name. As far as I know right now, and I've been checking Twitter, they said the name will be announced in due course by the Royal Palace. So everybody will be waiting for that. There was a lot of speculation that if it had been a princess, that would they pick Diana, okay? Diana as the name of the new young princess. So that didn't happen, so I guess we're going to wait for the name. But the royal baby has arrived. The royal baby has arrived, so there we go. We can now jump in on the festivities. I imagine there's a lot of parties across. There have been a lot of parties in great anticipation of this event. So, of course, it's happened. So the champagne must be just a bubbling all across the world for them. So as we go forward, I tell everybody the same thing. It's the Harper Duffy Report. I kind of, that's how we kind of began the show. They've given us lots to talk about with the Senate scandal and all the different things Stephen Harper did our last little bit. And, the 7 stages of political scandal, which he's at about 6.5, really kind of going on there. He finally did do his shuffle up and deal cabinet shuffle last week, and it was announced on Twitter. There wasn't a lot of analysis going in right off the bat. It was like, here are the names. This one shifted here. These ones were left out. So it's kind of taking a quick look at some of the winners and losers of the cabinet shuffle. Some of the ups, as it's been reported out by Post Media News, was Chris Alexander, former Canadian ambassador. So he was given a quite significant promotion. He's the MP for Ajax Pickerington. Shelley Glover, I got one of the largest promotions again, and I did talk a little bit about some of the new women in the cabinet, and here she was given takes over as Canadian Heritage and Official Languages. Again, a significant portfolio, so they were kind of watching that. Also, Kelly Leach, another woman MP. For Simcoe Grey. She first elected in 2011, and you're seeing some of them have only really been around for about an election or so, have been given some significant ups. Pierre Poilievre, he was given he's known as the conservative attack dog. He was first set loose. Everybody kind of thought, he's kind of out there on his own, but Harper seems to reel him in when he needs him. First it was when First is when he went after the Liberal leader when they were trying to get their majority, and they're saying now because Harper has changed his mind, changed his tactic, so instead of sitting back on his heels and saying woe is me, that he's gone into attack mode, and he's going to be using he's given the MP for Nippy and Carleton in the Ottawa area a minister of democratic reform, so I'll be trumpeting that and trying to take again some of the flack away from some of the things that Stephen Harper is doing the last little bit. Some of the losers and some of the downs with Stephen Fletcher. He was left out of cabinet. Really, truly has been an MP since 2004. Peter Kent kind of said, he kind of saw the writing on the wall. He kind of did, they said it's some kind of weird Facebook message saying, you know what, I'm going to go back to the back bench. Although he does intend to run for re-election in 2015. Gordon O'Connor was dropped completely, 74 years old. He had been the whip since 2008, so he kind of dropped out. Christian Paradise, same thing. His role has been diminished, and so there comes a little bit, few surprises, a couple surprises there, but not used. The big surprises was they gave Stephen Blaney the role of public safety manager. It was a very vital role. Michelle Rempel, they really thought, age 33, she would get a bigger promotion. Didn't really happen. So that was kind of what they were looking at. But these were some of the winners and losers in the big shuffle up and deal by Stephen Harper. And just so that it makes the news and everybody wants to know, it's not insignificant to become a cabinet minister. The perks that go along with it, and they'll look at this. And if people want to have a new career in Canada, if you don't want to work at Tim Hortons anymore, MP salary is roughly $160,000 a year. Cabinet ministers earn an extra about $76,000. And their parliamentary secretaries get a big bump of about $58,000. Cabinet ministers also get $2,000 car allowance, and the position includes a car and a driver. So it is not insignificant, or it's great significance if the ones that were left out kind of dropped away from cabinet. It's going to be quite a financial cut for them going forward. So that is some of the things that happened with our shuffle up and deal. And one of the other things that kind of broke out, this is why it's almost like you can't stop talking about it, because every time you think that he's trying to repair some of the damage, trying to make it all go away, he just kept on doing more, I'm going to say more dumb stuff. And what the other thing he was doing was his enemies list. I guess he kind of put it out there before his cabinet shuffle. I need to know who the friendlies are and who the enemies are. And then when I make my selection, all these new cabinet ministers will be briefed on who the enemies are. And that was kind of that, are you on the list, I guess, and when I kind of throw up a little Mike Graston cartoon, the Windsor Star, running out there saying, guess what, we're not on the enemies list, we're okay. So if you're not on the enemies list, that's a good thing. But there's, it's kind of, there comes almost a reference that, and we haven't heard this, I haven't heard this in a very long time, was that he's behaving in government in comparisons to the old Nixon Watergate days. Okay, you be on the good side, you do what you're told. If not, you'll be on the bad side. If you're on the bad side, guess what? You ain't gonna get. So that's the bottom line there. So Art, who would be on the enemies list, I guess, at the end of the day. And if Alex could put it up there, a couple of, we're looking at who Stephen's enemies might be. You've got Mike Duffy. He keeps on making the news. He doesn't go away. There's emails that are disappearing. So if we can have our little balloon guys up there, Alex, that'd be good. Just the next slide. We have the Canadian Taxpayers Federation on Parliament Hill put up a great big vote on the Senate, as they're kind of pushing for Senate reform or Senate abolishing the Senate, or they want discussion on it. But stay Duff. Okay, that'd be one of the new enemies for Prime Minister Stephen Harper, and of course, obviously, because same shape, same type of look. So, Harper's enemy list probably includes Stay Puft, the Marshmallow Man from the Ghostbusters. If I was really looking at it, and one really has to think about it. If he could have pushed some of his ex-cabinet members back, he basically told me, if you don't want to do it anymore, get back there. If you're not being supportive, you're not doing the things you need to do, then you know what, you're going to be on the wrong side. So if you're going to be on the wrong side, you really have to, I'm going to say, and again, give my next slide there, please, Alex. You have and we're looking at our own local area, our own MP for Essex. Okay, Jeff Watson, and you were looking at it and saying, I basically kind of do it this way. He says he needs to look to the left and he needs to look to the right when he's sitting in Parliament. And if he's looking at the two individuals right beside him, then he must be on the enemy's list because he's been elected 3 times. He's been around for quite a while. For 2004, re-elected 2006, Jeff Watson. And you know what? Didn't receive a cabinet post. Why is that? His constituents and for the riding of Essex need to ask him that at the next federal election. Ask him at the door, what's wrong with you? That if Stephen Harper has no faith in you, then how are you going to get the job done down here for the Windsor Essex community? And I think it's something that definitely needs to be asked. Make sure you do it. And you should be asking him, you should be calling his office and asking him now, ask why Jeff Watson couldn't get a cabinet position after this length of time being in the PCs, with the PCs. So, something's gone wrong there. I don't know what. So, you are watching the Convergence Report. I am Mike Thomas, and we will be back right after this.
You're watching Exist TV, and this is the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas, broadcasting live from Windsor Downtown, from the Windsor Downtown Business Accelerator. Thanks to our sponsors that allow us to have this live broadcast. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't miss any of other programmings. We have Tuesdays, Alcachofas de la Azotea, 6:30, and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Wasel Care with Nadia Tejera Hesham, an Arab program for the Arab community. And Thursdays, we have Very on the Go with Derry Goodell, a lifestyle. And Fridays, 6:30, we have Beyond Incredible with Ashley Nicole. And this Friday, we will have Tara Watts performing live here at Exist TV at Windsor Downtown Business Accelerator at 6:30 p.m. We'll be right back with the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas after this.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of this program, Beyond the Incredible, a wild ride to the brink of madness. As always, presenting the topics others might be too afraid to expose to the public. But let me tell you, the truth is beyond incredible, as it is the title of this program. Fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the ride.
You are watching Exist TV, broadcasting live from downtown Windsor. You are watching the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas. We'll be right back.
Okay, and we're back. I'm Mike Thomas. You're watching the Convergence Report. And I keep the same, not the same flavor. It's just that we have an election. It's a summer election. A lot of people talking about it, saying, it's a summer one. Why was that picked? Voter turnout's going to be down. So I've kind of chosen that what I really want is I'm trying to drum up business for the election to let people know that it's August 1st. It's coming. Windsor Tecumseh by-election. Advanced polls are now open. They're open from 10 a.m. To 8 p.m. They started yesterday, which was a Sunday, July 21st, and all this week, July 22nd. Yep. Okay, I'm going to pop into the next slide here, with this, just so I can show the dates, Alex. There we go. There we go. So, elections, Ontario, 22nd, 23rd, all this week, basically. Okay, Sunday to Friday. Advance polls are open. If you're going to be on vacation, you're going to be away, you're worried about missing your turn, you should be able to go down there. If you received in the mail this card, okay, then at that point in time you should be able to vote and make sure that you have that opportunity to do so. There are James Evans is the returning officer, but there's 4 locations. There are 4 locations for you to vote in the advance poll. So I try to, I'd really say everybody needs, with all this craziness that's going on, whether it is in Ontario, whether it is federally, we need to take make the effort, read about what's going on, find out who the candidates are. I've kind of briefed you on a few of the candidates the last couple of weeks on the show, and you should be able to do that and make sure that you go down and vote. It does make a difference on what's going to happen in Ontario in the future. So in the next slides here, I'll give you the locations. The first two locations, you got the returning office itself. That's at 9899 Tecumseh Road East. Okay, so that's one spot. You can vote again from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. You have the Chicharo Club. You can, again, it's 37th. They're trying to make sure it's spread around the whole riding area so people can get out and vote on the way to work, on the way home from work, okay? Or just, you know what, maybe if you're traveling out of town, getting ready to jump on the highway, you can vote before you leave. Okay, 3745 North Talbot Road, and the two other locations are as follows. Okay, the Lions Manor, right there, kind of a little bit more core down by the water. So that's actually pretty close for the people that do a lot of walking. That like to, to hang out down by the river, look at the sights, take a few minutes, go across the street, and vote 230 Strabane Avenue in Windsor, and then in Tecumseh, out in the Tecumseh area. Kind of more toward the Lake St. Clair side of Tecumseh. It's St. Clair Beach Retirement Home, 13500. It's a new building that used to be the kind of golf course land. It's a new retirement home that's open there now, so they've made themselves available to help people. Again, a lot of people walking. Grab your card so you can go and vote. If you need more information, you can go to wemakevotingeasy.ca, okay, at Elections Canada, or you can call the returning office at 1-866-850-0487. So please make the effort to do that, and if you please try and vote. It's so important to if you're trying to effect change in Ontario, then make sure you vote. Okay, make sure you vote. It's very important. There you go. And I'll be back right after this with I Saw That, a little bit of internet, Facebook, a little bit of blend. I'll be back right after this. This is the Convergence Report, and you're watching with Mike Thomas.
Donny Nasser Care at 6 p.m. Wednesdays.
مع نادية وطهارة هاشم. قول أنا عربية أم أنا صايمة أم أنا شيء يقبلوا فيها وما
American culture. وأنا أهلي عم بيتمسكوا أكثر يعني مش بس أهلي الأهل اللي
بدنا نعمل لكم حمص كمان بس مع شوية تويست.
A little bit of twist. Everything, bringing the old with the new.
That's right. So كل جمعة بدنا نحكيكم عن شيء بيأثرنا وبيأثر العرب وكيف نحن عايشين هون بكندا وبأمريكا. شغلات بدنا نحن نحب نعمل كل جمعة هو نعملكم ويكلي ابديت. سو في شغلات نحن عم بيصير معنا بحياتنا نحب انتم تعرفوا فيها وبلكي انتم بتنصحونا اما نحن بننصحكم على شغلات نحن عم نعملها.
نساعد بعض.
نساعد بعض exactly. So عندنا blog و Twitter account.
Yep. And so this way it's a great way for us to keep in touch and for you to keep in touch with us. So we'll have it up on the screen next week, but if you want to write it down, so every week what we're going to do is try and keep it up.
Yep.
We're gonna we'll see you next week then.
مساء الخير واهلا وسهلا فيكم مع نادية وطهارة هاشم.
You're watching the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas. This is Exist TV broadcasting live from downtown Windsor. Broadcasting from the Windsor Downtown Business Accelerator, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Okay, and we're back. You're watching the Convergence Report. I'm Mike Thomas, and I have to finish off really quickly here. There was a debate last week, and the bantering and the jabbing and the sparring had already begun in regards to the Windsor area and some of the issues facing the Windsor area. So I'm going to try to flip this over. The Chamber of Commerce have released their by-election survey results saying that Ontario financing, economic growth, job creation, accountability, the cost of energy, and the Green Energy Act are some of the main issues that they need to address, and they have been trying to address with the questions in the debates. There is one more debate coming up on July 28th at the Royal Canadian Legion building on, it's basically on L'Esperance Road in Tecumseh. So if you really want to get some information, you want to hear what they have to say. It's being put on by the Windsor Essex chapter of CARP, the Canadian Association of Retired Persons. We have a lot of retired persons in this area, do for a lot of different reasons, so find out what their platforms are to assist the retired people. I'm not going to call them seniors, they're retired people. Some are youthful, some are a little bit older, or a little bit more senior. Find that out. So anyways, that would be a couple things that you could do going forward. Couple things that were happening. I call it my little Facebook karma. The thought police, I saw that. Well, there's a couple things that happened, and I kind of picked it up off the wire services, and it's really talking about Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is loved over here. People, they have to have 5 cups a day in some cases. But there's investors. The investors now are trying to say that the U.S. trying to break into the U.S. is still not working, and some of the money people behind Tim Hortons are saying you need to stop doing that. You need to stop wasting resources. It's not working for us. Those franchises aren't breaking out like they're used to, and I guess I drive in Michigan a little bit, you'll see the odd one. So you're not seeing that it's widespread on every other block as the joke it is in Canada. So that's one of the things, and one of the investors are kind of pushing a little bit on that Tim Hortons is not doing what it needs to do on the American side of the border. So stop it, stop wasting money. It's basically they're saying stop wasting the money. Also, Tim Hortons in the news again. Coffee chain apologized for blocking a Wi-Fi site, and it was for blocking a gay and lesbian news website from its free in-store Wi-Fi. And you talk about the thought police, talk about those things, whether or not it's the internet, and here we go. It was wide open, anything, it's for everybody, and then now you're having corporations, you're having businesses saying, well, I really don't want maybe that clientele in my store, so I won't make that available. And it seems so sad that this day and age that still happens. It seems very, 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 very bizarre, and you can't even believe that those things happen that way in this, I'm going to say, day and age. It's just unfortunate. Another thing was Yahoo itself, and what Yahoo's going to do is going to revive some old email IDs. That's what they're going to do. So you kind of look at it before. If you had an email ID, you kind of let that account go dormant, and it was gone, and you didn't use it, then it would just kind of disappear. And it might. And people were trying to use their own names back then. So do pay attention. It's going to be the recycled email address will have 48-hour period to activate the accounts beginning August 15th, and then if not, they'll be made available. And maybe there was that one email that you wanted or email address you wanted that was going to work for you. Keep an eye on it. Yahoo's opening up some big ones for you. Food donations sought. Just pointing it out, I kind of caught this out of the Windsor Star. The Downtown Mission is home for a Christmas in July. I'm trying to support it. Actually, all food banks in the area should be supported. We tend to forget the summertime. There's just as much need. Sometimes there's more need. And so they said Ron Dunn, Director of Development, bottled water, peanut butter, jams and soup, craft dinner, canned meats, okay, tuna, canned vegetables, fruit and juice. Don't forget it's summertime. Try to put together a little box or a little bag of something. Take it to at least take it to the Downtown Mission, or at least try to find your local food bank and see if you can help them out, as that would definitely be a great assistance. We're not getting better. Remember, 9.2% unemployment. We're still not there yet. There's a lot of people in need, youth. And we hate to even think that some of our seniors need that kind of assistance, but there's definitely a lot of youth. People can't find jobs. They can't make enough to eat, okay, and sometimes not make enough to live and eat. So it's very, very difficult. And the Yahoo poll, I was kind of playing around today. The Yahoo poll was July 21st, 1969, that Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin made history, becoming the first men on the moon. Well, the Yahoo poll was, because it had been kind of drumming it up over the last bunch of years, is do you believe that the lunar landing was a hoax? And there was all these things that they kept saying that the science geeks were following and looking at pictures and looking at footage and saying none of these things happened, so therefore it had to be a hoax. And believe it or not, 29% of the people still believe it's a hoax, and 71% said no, they landed on the moon. So that's what we're kind of looking at. And I kind of have a little list. We've got a little list right here of the top 10. I call it the top 10 geek reasons the moon landing was a hoax. Okay, number 1, the astronauts would have died from radiation exposure. So that's what they kind of said. There's no possible way they could have fought off that radiation, so it wouldn't have happened. You can't see the stars. If you look at certain photos, you can't see the stars in the photo of the moon. That's number 2. Number 3 is astronauts can clearly see even though they should be in the shadow. So they should be disappeared, and they're saying no, but again, they'll explain it. There was pictures that where the crosshairs were cut off. They're saying so that was kind of orchestrated. If you look at kind of a high definition type of cameras, when they cleaned up the picture, you can actually see the crosshairs, no problem. They say the shadows are all helter-skelter and go in different directions. So that was another one. That was number 5. They said number 6, the moon has no air, but the U.S. flag still flutters in the breeze. And they say, yes, of course, the experts will tell you that it's not the same air like we have on Earth. There is some air enough to sustain a flag. 7 was pictures with the same background but different foreground, which is okay. That's somebody using some trick photography there. They really said they kind of used the Disney Studios to kind of pull this off, is what they really believed happened way back when. Number 8, no flames appeared in the launch of the lunar lander back into space. 9, we have plenty of telescopes, but none have taken pictures of any landing sites on the moon. You can't find the space junk, etc. And there's no way to prove we went to the moon without proof. I won't believe it. And that's what the people keep on saying. The 10 geek reasons the moon landing was a hoax. And I just kind of tell people that you can go to ca.news.yahoo.com blogs. Go to the Geek Equinox or Geek Quinox. And then they have basically those 10 reasons I told you with some pretty good explanations as to why those things have happened and why we still think it's a hoax and why we don't think men actually set foot on the moon. And you got to really think about it. I think we've done that. If you look at the Mars rover running around and rolling all over Mars and getting us some good quality information from Mars, that we have to really kind of believe. I'm in the 71%. I think that they landed on the moon. I'm Mike Thomas. It is a Convergence Report, and I'll be back to finish up right after this.
You're watching the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas, broadcasting live from downtown Windsor. Broadcasting from the Windsor Downtown Business Accelerator at 720 Olet, corner at Tuscarora. We'll be right back after these messages. You're watching the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas, broadcasting live from downtown Windsor. This is Exist TV. We'll be right back.
Okay, and we're back. You're watching the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas at the Downtown Windsor Business Accelerator at 720 Olet. That's where we're shooting this live from. Just my little update. I said I'm going to do this for the rest of the summer or until they get back home. The 5 guys from Windsor, Essex that are riding their bikes across Canada for ALS, the Lou Gehrig's disease. They've raised some money and they're trying to get across. They raised some money along the way and try to raise the profile of this particular disease. One of the riders' wives had passed away from this disease, so very, very important to him, and very, very important his friends have taken this and gone with him. So day 32 to day 38. They had that rest day in Sudbury, so they kind of went across the top of Ontario there, made all their way to Quebec City for another day of rest. It was another 1,000 kilometers, basically, in a week that they've ridden through Ontario and into Quebec. And just some of the kind of different flavor. Ben Merritt, Ben Merritt blog at .wordpress.com. If you benmerrittblog.wordpress.com if you really want to check out all his pictures and things. He says his flavor has been like the fields and the beauty. I kind of pull off to some of the other little different ones. He had kind of ran across, it was like a spaceman house. There's somebody waiting for the aliens to land. I don't know. I was going to post that up there. So that's one of the photos. It's just some, we've seen our own extreme weather down here. But he must be waiting for aliens to land. There he goes. He calls the space house. It's not something he's into. But he said, obviously this guy really, really likes. He's waiting for the coming of the aliens. And then we've had a lot of weather So weather themselves, weather is a factor on this trip. They ran into, so, they kind of slow up. They try to stay behind or pedal to stay ahead of these fronts. And this was one of the storms, one of the cloud formations, like kind of just before it hit them. So that is something they're doing. The next slide, Alex, please. Click it over there, and just a couple like flavorable ones. It was the young one of the riders' name is Brian, and he's in the arms of the big guy. I believe this was he's wrestling with the big guy, and I think they were just into Quebec. Okay, maybe this little past Hull, I believe. So on their way to Quebec City. So that was kind of hold me, I'm tired. Okay, so that's Brian taking a bit of a rest before they get back on the bikes. And of course, in Quebec City, a big fortress where the French fought the British, and a little bit of history. So that, some great things to see. And remember, okay, on the next slide, just to finish it up, Alex, is, like I said before, that's the big bike. That was a few days ago. But it's benmerrittblog.wordpress.com if you want to check it out. Find out how the traveler's going, take some beautiful pictures and good descriptive of meeting the people from across Canada for ALS. They're doing a wonderful thing, and they're almost there. So Quebec City, taking a break, and then they're going to go forward. And you're watching the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas. Don't forget to to tweet me if you want to see certain stories, you want information, or you want to tell me what you think of the show. Please go to Knoxroom Digital Media on Facebook or my own personal Facebook, Mike Thomas. And again, check us out, review the show, like us, share it with your friends. Tell us how you like the show. It's been, I think it's going really well. I'm Mike Thomas. This is the Convergence Report, and I will be back next week.